The story takes place when I was 15 years old. My family had recently moved into a new house, and it was our first night there. I remember I had a lot of fun unpacking all of my things and setting up my new bedroom. My dad had ordered a pizza, and we ate on the couch in front of the TV. We didn't have any Wi-Fi or cable set up yet, so I hooked up my PlayStation to the television and played a DVD while we dug into our food. A few hours after that, my mom and dad both got tired and said goodnight to me before they headed upstairs to bed. I remember my mom telling me not to stay up too late as she flicked off the light to the living room, leaving me bathed in the glow of the television. I walked to the dining room table and grabbed another slice of pizza out of the box. I stood there and ate while my eyes settled on something in the bottom of the cardboard box next to the pizza. It was a Ouija board. On top of it was a glass planchette, the little triangle used to slide around the board. I set my slice of pizza down and pulled the board out. I ran my hand across it, wiping some of the dust away. Weird. I didn't own a Ouija board, and I never knew my parents did. I pocketed the planchette, turned off the TV, and jogged up the stairs to my bedroom, tucking the board under my arm as I went. I set the board down on top of a box next to my bed labeled Nick's Clothes and fished the planchette out of my pocket. It was dark in here, the only light coming from the small green lamp placed on top of my empty nightstand. I grabbed my phone and scrolled down to the thread with my best friend Josh. Found a Ouija board in one of these boxes. Gonna see if I can summon the undead, I typed, smiling to myself as I sat cross-legged in front of my spooky setup. My phone dinged. I looked down. "Keep those unclean spirits over there, my guy," the message from Josh read. I'd never used one of these things before, and this one didn't come with any instructions, but I figured I had watched enough horror movies and ghost stories on TV to get the gist of how to use one. Is anyone there? Can anyone hear me? The planchette stayed right where it was. Any demons around tonight? I asked. Still, nothing. Not even a little wobble. To be honest though, a small part of me was a little relieved that nothing happened. Most of me didn't really believe anything was going to come of me playing around with a children's toy, but still. I asked a few more questions, and again received no answers when I decided to put the toy away and get to bed. I climbed into bed, turning out the light and setting the alarm on my phone. 5 minutes later, I was fast asleep. Something was in my room. I could feel it before I even opened my eyes to confirm. I had been in the middle of a good dream when I was tugged back into consciousness, hearing what sounded like nails dragging against a chalkboard, a shrill scratching sound that bit into my brain. I could hear the blood move past my ears, could feel my heart trying to break free from its prison of bones when I opened my eyes just a fraction of an inch. There was nothing to be seen. I was laying on my side and went to roll over on my back when I became aware that I couldn't move. What the hell? It was as if I was paralyzed. My arms and legs refused to obey my brain's instructions, leaving me in a helpless pile as the thing in my room continued to draw near. I tried to scream, but I wasn't even able to accomplish that. All I could do was lay there, eyes half open, looking at a large stack of brown boxes between my bed and the wall. A different sound suddenly pierced through the silence. This sound was different from the scratching sound I had heard just a minute ago. This one was sharp and forceful, sounding like the crack of a tree branch breaking, or a bone. That's when I noticed movement coming from the top box. One of the 4 flaps was slowly beginning to unfold, moving slowly and deliberately towards the side as the flap across from that one followed suit. One by one, the box began to open itself. I tried to scream again, to alert my parents to what was happening, but no sound escaped my lips. My eyes rolled frantically in their sockets. If I had to watch what I felt was coming next, I feared I would go insane. Oh God, help me. The outline of a long, bony arm emerged from the top box. The large hand gripped the edge as another arm sprouted from within. Oh my God. There were 2 arms now, each grabbing a side of the box, pulling something up from the bottom of the parcel. Something was climbing out. A woman's face slowly began to rise over the edge. First the long, stringy black hair, then the yellow, glowing eyes. Those eyes, they seemed to have no eyelids. They were staring at me. She saw me. She knew I was awake and stuck here. I tried screaming again, tried moving my arms, my legs, anything that would move. But again, my body and mind seemed to be giving each other the silent treatment, refusing to communicate. The grinning mouth came next. She was smiling ear to ear. I shut my eyes as tight as I could. I heard a shuffling. Then there was something next to me, inches from my face. It was the box woman. She was looking at me, her face next to mine, like 2 lovers before embracing one another in a kiss. I kept my eyes shut tight. If I opened them, I knew I would lose my mind. If I looked once more into those horrible yellow eyes, I would lose myself forever. What felt like an eternity passed before I opened my eyes again, this time even less than before. Sweat began to sting my eyes as I looked around my very limited field of view. The box that the woman had crawled out of was closed again. All 4 sections folded neatly back into place. Okay, I was dreaming. Okay. The paralysis was starting to wear off, and I was slowly able to start moving again, the muscles in my limbs beginning to obey once more. I rolled onto my back and sat up. There was no one in my bedroom, just me and the stacks of boxes littered around my room. The Ouija board was still where I had left it, on my makeshift table. I threw the covers off and grabbed the board before kneeling next to my bed. I could get rid of it in the morning, but for tonight, I didn't like knowing it was right there. I slid the board underneath the bed when a hand grabbed my wrist and started to drag me underneath. I screamed and kicked as the woman with the yellow eyes unhinged her jaw, welcoming me to the darkness under my bed. That's when the light turned on. The woman let go of me, and I crawled back out from under my bed. I looked up, and my dad was standing there, squinting in the suddenly bright room. What the hell is going on in here? I told him everything that had happened, from the Ouija board to the woman under the bed. He looked at me with a very concerned face, before telling me that he and my mom did not own a Ouija board. We both looked at the one that was now lying on the floor next to my bed. It must have belonged to the woman that lived here before us, but she... He stopped talking and looked down towards the floor. Huh. You just got me thinking something kind of spooky. What? I asked harshly. Jaundice. Huh? The woman who lived here before, she had a lot of health problems. She had to move to an assisted living place. Well, that's what the real estate agent told us anyway. Something about her liver failing, he said, continuing to stare at the Ouija board lying on the carpet. Dad, what does that have to do with anything? The yellow eyes. When people have jaundice, the whites of their eyes turn yellow. Maybe somehow the board gave you a bad dream about the lady it belonged to? It's a scary thought, right? I nodded in agreement. After that night, I boxed up the board and sent it to the address that was given to us where we could contact the previous owner if anything came up. I haven't gotten a visitor since, and I will never, ever again use a Ouija board for as long as I live.